Charlie Kirk shouldn't have gotten shot. Obviously, that's terrible. He got like publicly executed. It was terrible. But at the same time, this is a dude who repeatedly said the Civil Rights Act shouldn't have been passed.
No, not at the same time. Two things.
Yeah.
You're about to make the AOC mistake. Charlie Kirk never said the Civil Rights Act. I've studied this very deeply. And it's just pretty simple. It'll take you 5 minutes. It's not what he said.
I've looked it up.
What he said was Civil Rights Act, good, needed it, great.
No.
Was then used to inculcate DEI and do these other things by extension of that law that he was against, and that it should have never been used for those purposes. Not to help black people vote. That's he believed in. But to make it as an extension of a welfare program for blacks in every manifestation, that he was against.
Yep.
Now, I happen to disagree. I actually think it was necessary.
No, I've heard him make that argument.
He didn't say get rid of it.
I've heard him make that argument. I didn't say he said get rid of it. He said they never should have passed it. And he also he said that, right? They never should have passed it in the first place. And he made also.
No, I don't think he did say that. I think what he said was the way that what they did with it made it a mistake.
Exactly. That's exactly what he said. But this is what's been happening ever since Charlie Kirk was murdered, assassinated on September 10th. And he's not here to push back and defend himself. Today we're joined by now a true friend of the show, John Gordon. He's the host of the syndicated radio show, The Truth with John Gordon. He's a graduate of Mercer University Law School in Georgia, a business owner and entrepreneur. And he has worked as a journalist and reporter in Macon and Atlanta. In 2022, he ran as a Republican candidate for Georgia Attorney General and was endorsed by President Donald Trump. You know, Washington, they had a government shutdown last night or this morning, early 12:01 a.m. John brings both legal and political insight to the table as we examine not just the government shutdown, but the assassination of Charlie Kirk. John Gordon, welcome back to Detroit's Morning Answer.
Thank you so much. Nice to be with you.
I don't think we've talked since Charlie Kirk has been assassinated. But when you first heard of Charlie Kirk's assassination, what went through your mind as both a broadcaster, a conservative leader, and I do believe you also knew Charlie Kirk.
I did know Charlie. I've spent a fair amount of time with Charlie over the last 8 years at differing times. He was probably the brightest person I've ever encountered. He was, for someone who had no formal education, he was self-taught. He was absolutely brilliant, and he will certainly be missed.
Yeah.
And I've gone through the 3 stages of grief, and I'm now at the anger part. I think that the narrative that we've been fed is a bunch of baloney. And I don't know what the correct answer is. All I know is that there are more questions than answers based on what we've been fed.
Yeah.
And I get so tired of it. I mean, you know, and I don't know who the bad actors are.
Yeah.
But why are we deprived of the truth?
Yeah.
That's what I just don't understand.
And I think what you're getting at is what you hear a lot of what Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson are talking about, that this was bigger than I don't say the individual's name. This was bigger than the guy who allegedly shot Charlie Kirk. Is that where you're headed with that when you say, can we just know what the truth is, what happened, who truly was a part of this assassination? Is it a plot to kill him? Is that what you're saying, John Gordon?
I am. I've watched so many commentators and read as much as I can get my hands on about it. And I watched a video from Redacted. I don't know if you know that podcast or not.
I do.
And he had on 2 Navy SEALs that were snipers, and both of them said that they could not have made that shot. Yeah. And to think that this Tyler Robinson could have done that under the pressure that he would have been under from 200 yards away is just ludicrous. I just don't buy it. And you look at his wardrobe changes. He had more wardrobe changes than a Broadway play. I mean, I just don't understand it. It does not add up.
Yeah. You know, the days since his death, we've seen vigils, accusations, and deepening divisions. Last night in Windsor, Ontario, I had a group on Turning Point Windsor, and they had a vigil last night. I think I was told like 300 or 400 people showed up, and then there was one on the Detroit side as it relates to it. When you see all of this, what do you think these events afterward reveal about the soul of this country and where we're headed?
Well, when people ask me what did I learn from having run for office, and my convicted answer is that I learned about the goodness of the human condition. There are so many good people in the world, and it gets glossed over by the evil that we see that commands the headlines and all the attention. And I think that these coming togethers that you're seeing around the world, really, 1 million people came out in London to mourn the death of Charlie Kirk. 1 million Brits. And so I just think it really has touched people in a deeply grievous way, and that they are mourning the loss, but it is having a counterintuitive result that it is bringing people closer to God.
Yeah.
People are praying.
I would agree, and I think I made a post, and I got ridiculed for it, but I said this man has probably won more souls to God than most pastors on a Sunday morning have, and because of that, this assassination, so many people. I mean, churches. You hear the reports of churches being full, ever since he got assassinated. I mean, am I off when I say that because of the violent way he died, and his message of God first, God, family, country, that it's resonating now, and more people are starting to wake up and realize that that's the order that they have to have in their lives now?
It's a phenomenon, and God works in mysterious ways. I don't think that God had any role in Charlie's death.
Correct.
I think he is mourning with Charlie's wife and 2 children and the rest of the world. But I do think that he is using Charlie's death to bring attention to the Bible and the Scripture and to the Holy Spirit. And that's a good thing. We desperately need to get back to the fundamentals that made this country what it is today, and that our country was founded on.
Yeah.
And we've lost our way, and I blame my generation. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, baby.
Yeah.
And it just has backfired in really significant ways. And I think the pendulum is swinging back in the other direction now, and it's long overdue.
Yeah. And then I'm always reminded of the Roman 8:28 message. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God. God will use any and everything to push his vision, his plan, to make this world a better place, and to make allow more people to come to him. Even things that I would say this: there's nothing out of the control of God. And I really do believe that God is using this moment to bring people closer to him. That's what I meant by when I said that, John Gordon.
Oh, no, I wasn't responding to anything that you said. I was just really supporting your point, because I agree entirely with your observation.
Now, John, our government is shut down. It's shut down at 12:01 a.m. Now, John, is this? I am so sick and tired of these continuing resolutions. I want the budget process. I want these senators and these House of Representatives to grow up, and stop the dysfunction. But do you see this as a routine dysfunction, or just a collapse of Washington's credibility, not being able or allowing the government to shut down?
All of the above. I think it reflects gross incompetence and ineptness. And to think that these people that we we put our trust in and send them to Washington to represent our interest will resort to petty politics and gamesmanship at the expense of the United States and its citizens is deplorable. And it just, I don't know what the answer is. Term limits, certainly, I think. I've been reticent to support term limits for a long time, but I'm ready now since they're seriously delusional.
Here's Donald Trump on the government shutdown.
We're doing well as a country, so the last thing we want to do is shut it down. But a lot of good can come down from shutdowns. We can get rid of a lot of things that we didn't want, and they'd be Democrat things, but they want open borders. They want men playing in women's sports. They want transgender for everybody. They never stop. They don't learn. We won an election in a landslide. They just don't learn. So we have no choice. I have to do that for the country.
Now, John Gordon, to Speaker Johnson's credit, he did get through a clean CR, continuing resolution to fund the government. I believe it was for 7 more weeks. But he also did pass a few budgets out of the Appropriations Committee. They're sitting and stalling in the Senate. And a lot of people are saying that Chuck Schumer and a lot of the Democrats in the House, they're stalling this, and they voted against. They voted for a government shutdown because they want to continue to give illegal immigrants health care coverage. John, how did we get here where those who are in our country illegally, that the Senate and House members on the Democrat side specifically will vote for a government shutdown over American citizens?
Well, I think we've got an enemy from within, and it really, when you want to cut right to the chase, I'm afraid that it is a war that we are waging of the haves and the have-nots. And the people that we have generously and selflessly helped take care of for decades are never going to have enough. And it's caused us to rack up $37 trillion in debt. I heard Elon Musk say yesterday that if you counted from 1 to 1 trillion, 1, 2, 3, 4. It would take you 37 years if you counted a number every second.
Wow.
To get to 1 trillion.
Wow.
It is staggering, and it is going to destroy our country if the adults don't show up. I'm all about helping people that need a helping hand, but I am not all about in any way helping people who are able-bodied.
They love the view.
Yeah,
now.
Exactly. I'm dating myself, aren't I?
Hey, I'm here to help my brother out. But I want to play a snippet of Pete Hegseth's Department of War Secretary Pete Hegseth's speech on yesterday. Just a snippet, and I want to get your reaction. I think I already know what you're going to say, but here's Pete Hegseth. He called all of the generals and all of the military brass to Quantico to give this speech.
With physical fitness and appearance. If the Secretary of War can do regular, hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the joint force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year, every year of service. Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our joint force is required to do PT every duty day, Should be common sense. I mean, most units do that already.
I mean, John, that sounds like common sense. He went on to talk about all of the woke stuff that has entered our military and that we are done with that. Why would people be upset that our military, which we should not politicize at all, why should they be upset with his speech that he gave yesterday?
Well, they're upset because it came from the Trump administration. They're just anti anything that Trump says or puts forward or that comes out of his cabinet. You know, I saw a motivational speech. I wish I could remember the person's name, but he was a two-star general, and I think he was 62 or 63 years old. And he said he began every day of his life first by making his bed and second by running 5 miles.
Wow.
That is what you call discipline. And that is what has gone out of our culture. The thought of self-discipline has left our society. And that's what you see in the Congress when they don't have the discipline to rein in the budget. All they can think about are themselves and how they're going to get reelected and spend the money. We need discipline, and I applaud Secretary of War for bringing it back to the armed services. Yeah. It's leadership. It's leadership.
Yeah, and you're talking about, I think it was Admiral William. I thought it was Admiral William H. McRaven who talked about. I think he wrote a book called "Make Your Bed." I think
you're exactly right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well,
you're exactly right.
As it relates to the shutting down of the government, here's Maxine Waters.
But aren't Democrats demanding health care for illegal aliens?
Democrats are demanding health care for everybody. We want to save lives. We want to make sure that health care is available to those who would die, but having the help of their government.
I mean, John Gordon, they just can't answer the question. I mean, it's a clear and poignant question to say, are you holding this bill up, this continuing resolution up, to pay for the health care of illegal immigrants? And they cannot answer it. John Gordon, why?
Isn't that the same person who called for violence on Republicans?
Yes.
Republican
Get in their
members
face.
of Congress if they saw them in restaurants?
Yes.
To harass them. I mean, I dismiss anything that she says. I think she's a lunatic. I think she is a certified lunatic. So why give her any oxygen?
Well, you said it. And you know what? You're right. John Gordon, we got to leave it there. I want to thank you so much for coming in. I always have a good time. And you always have a way of just making me, I'm sitting over here chuckling, turning off the mic because just some of the way you have, your way with words is just amazing. Thanks so much for joining us today, sir.
Well, you're so kind, and I relish every minute that we've spent together. Thank you for your friendship and having me on.
Yes, that's John Gordon, host of the syndicated radio show, The Truth with John Gordon. Guys, go out and follow that show because I'm telling you, I've whenever I got the time, I tune in, and I'm telling you, you think he's a hoot and a ride here, you need to listen to him on his show. He is very informative, and he comes with the facts, and he doesn't mince his words. So he's a great, great, great patriot. And we got to start supporting the people who are out there and giving it their all. So that's John Gordon for you guys. And I love every aspect of who he is. And, when we come back from break, we're going to be talking to Gabriella Minerick. I hope I said that name right. I mean, we're going to be talking about, she thinks Pete Hegseth is right about a few things that he talked about. As it relates to Democrats seeking to repeal the health title of the One Big Beautiful Bill. So, Paul, I think this is going to be a really good conversation. Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, Vice President J.D. Vance, he put out a tweet on yesterday saying exactly that. And it's not looking good, man. It's really not looking good for these Dems. And I don't think they've learned their lesson as to why over 77 million Americans pushed Trump over the finish line to become the 47th president of these United States of America. We'll be right back.